let's be real for a second. Every business has a story, right? And you know what? The most honest version of that story is told by its numbers. So today we're going to learn how to read that story. We're going to translate all that financial stuff so you can see exactly how your business is doing, where it's really headed, and how you can get in the driver's seat and steer it towards success.
Does this feel familiar? I bet it does for a lot of entrepreneurs. You're working like crazy, sales are coming in, but you kind of feel like you're flying blind. You've got all this data, all these spreadsheets, but what does any of it actually mean? It's like you're in the cockpit of a plane, staring at 100 different dials, and you have no idea what they're trying to tell you.
So here's our flight plan for today. First, we're going to learn how to read that instrument panel. Then, we'll follow the money on its incredible journey to becoming profit. After that, we hit the big plot twist, the cash flow conundrum. We'll learn how to manage the engine of working capital. And finally, we'll run the ultimate health check to see if your business is truly built to last.
You ready to take control? Okay, first things first, we are building that instrument panel. We're giving you the tools you need to get a super clear early warning of any trouble on the horizon, and, even better, to spot the amazing opportunities that are right in front of you.
Look, the goal here is simple. No more confusion. We're going to take terms like liquidity, working capital, and ROE and turn them from scary accounting jargon into a simple, clear story about your business. A story you can actually use. By the time we're done here, you'll be reading your financials like an absolute pro.
All right, let's follow the money. Because understanding where your profit actually comes from is so important. See, it's not just about sales, not even close. We need to trace the path of every dollar from the moment it comes in the door, all the way down to what you get to keep in the end. And we call this the profit funnel.
And this is the perfect way to picture it. So, at the very top, you pour in all your sales, your revenue. The first thing that leaks out are the direct costs of what you sold. We call that the cost of goods sold, or COGS. Whatever is left over, that's your gross profit. Then you subtract all the general running costs, rent, salaries, marketing, your overheads. And what you're left with at the bottom is your operating profit. Each step tells a unique story about your business.
Now, let's zoom in on that first big step, gross profit. This number is absolutely vital. Why? Because it tells you how profitable your actual products or services are at their core. Are you pricing them right? Are your direct costs getting out of hand? This is your first and maybe most important warning signal.
Speaking of pricing, what if I told you that one of the most powerful tools you have to change your business's future is hidden inside this single tiny number?
Yeah, it's all about leverage. Check this out. Research has shown that a tiny 1% increase in your price can boost your net profit by an average of 11%. Just think about that for a second. It's often the single most powerful change you can make. And that extra money flows straight down the profit funnel, right to your bottom line.
Okay, so you're making a profit. That's awesome. Congratulations. But here comes the big twist in our financial story. This is the one that trips up so many businesses. And it's this. Profit does not equal cash in the bank.
And this quote just says it all, doesn't it? You can have a beautiful profit and loss statement, a report that says you're making money hand over fist, but you look at your bank account and realize you can't pay your team, your suppliers, or even your rent. This is the cash flow conundrum, and you have to get your head around it.
So let's make this crystal clear. Profit, that's an accounting idea. It's a story told over a period of time, like a month or a year. But cash is reality. It's the actual money in your account that lets you operate day to day. You can actually survive for a while without a profit, but you cannot survive a single day without cash. Cash is the lifeblood.
So if cash is king, how do we manage it? Well, the secret lies in something called your working capital. The best way to think about it is like the engine that drives cash through your entire business. So let's pop the hood and see how this thing works. Your cash flow engine has three main levers you can pull. First, there's accounts receivable. That's how fast you get paid by your customers. Second is accounts payable. That's how fast you pay your suppliers. And the third lever is inventory. All that money that's just sitting there, tied up in products on a shelf, waiting for someone to buy them.
So the official term for all this is working capital. It's basically the fuel for your day-to-day operations. When your working capital is healthy, you've got the cash to run the business and even invest in growth. But when it's low, you're constantly fighting fires, just trying to stay afloat.
And this table just illustrates it perfectly. Look at the healthy scenario. You collect your money from customers in 30 days, but you get 45 days to pay your own suppliers. That's amazing. You're basically using your suppliers' money to fund your business. But now look at the struggling scenario. It's the total opposite. Your customers are taking 60 days to pay you, but your bills are due in 30. Now you're the one funding them. That's a surefire recipe for a cash crunch. Okay, we've talked profit, we've talked cash. Now it's time for the ultimate health check, the big picture. Are you actually building a business that's sustainable and, rewarding in the long run? These last two metrics will give you the answer.
First up is return on equity, or ROE. And this is a big one. It measures how much profit you're generating for every single dollar of your own money or your investors' money that's tied up in the business. Put simply, it answers the most important question of all. Is all this risk and all this hard work actually worth the reward?
And to put that into perspective, just look at this chart. You could stick your money in a savings account for a tiny but very safe return. Or you could put it in the stock market for a better return, but with more risk. Running your own business is the riskiest of them all. So your ROE has to be way, way higher than those other options to make any sense.
So what's a good number to aim for? Well, a good rule of thumb is this. If your ROE is below 5%, after you factor in all the incredible risk you're taking on, you're essentially getting no return at all. It's a huge red flag that you either need to make the business a lot more profitable or seriously ask if your money could be working harder for you somewhere else.
And finally, let's talk about pure survival. Your liquidity ratio is a direct measure of your ability to pay your bills on time. It compares your short-term assets, things you can turn into cash quickly, against your short-term liabilities, which are the bills due soon. And believe me, this is one of the very first numbers a bank or a lender looks at.
And this is the flashing red warning light on your instrument panel. While every industry is a bit different, a lot of experts agree that if your ratio drops below 1.5, you are entering the danger zone. It means for every dollar you owe in the near future, you have less than $1.50 in easy-to-access assets to cover it. It's a clear sign you could be heading for serious trouble.
So there you have it. The profit funnel, the cash flow conundrum, working capital, and the ultimate health check. You now have the instrument panel. You can read the story your business is telling you every single day. The only question left is, now that you know the story, what are you going to do about it? What's your next chapter going to be?